Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So we will start with Wan-Bissaka. So we do know it's imminent. It's going to be our second signing this summer, and our second signing of course under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously now his shirt number has been revealed. He will be wearing the number 29 and all that. I don't think his transfer to Manchester United has been officially announced as yet, but as we all do know, it came out earlier on this week saying that Manchester United have agreed a deal worth around £50 million. Manchester United have paid £45 million up front, with £5 million in add-ons, which does rise it to around £50 million. Obviously, the add-ons are based on the appearances and all that, but he has completed his medical as Wan-Bissaka, which is very, very good news. Obviously, he's the club's fifth most expensive signing and all that. The only players that cost more than Wan-Bissaka is, Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, Fred, and Angel Di Maria and all that. But like I said, he's definitely worth £50 million. So now we have, currently got him on the board. He's our second sign this summer. That does take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend to around £68 million, because obviously, we've already got Daniel James on the board for £18 million. Now I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities, will be to get some reinforcements in that midfield, and also, recommend a central defender to come in and all that. But Wan-Bissaka has agreed a 5-year deal with Manchester United worth around £80,000 a week. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka has got a huge pay rise on his salary, because obviously, he was only on £10,000 a week with Crystal Palace, and he was their lowest paid player in their first team squad. So he has got around £70,000 pay rise. But we had been negotiating a fee, with Crystal Palace at least for the last 3 weeks and all that. Potentially, we previously had two bids turned down from Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, the last bid we had turned down for him was 50 million, but we'd offered 35 million up front with 15 million in add-ons. But obviously, Crystal Palace didn't like the structure of the offer, so they did turn this down. And obviously, the first bid we had turned down for him was around 40 million pounds and all that. But essentially, Wan-Bissaka, did notify Crystal Palace, he does want to join Manchester United this summer. We do know he's predominantly a right back and all that, and he is only 21 years of age, and he's obviously going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talent and all that. And like I said, he is British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. And I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following the policy, that proved successful under Alex Ferguson and all that. And I do believe, we are moving away from the policy, of signing them well established players. But now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, now we've got Wan-Bissaka on the board, will want to bring at least another 3 players to Manchester United, because he did blatantly make it clear, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. Obviously, wants to address the deficiencies in the squad, and he's looking to build a squad, worthy of the club's mystery. But Wan-Bissaka is predominantly a right back, so I do believe he'll address our defensive deficiencies. Like I said, I do believe he can be our fullback for the next decade. He's also, Premier League proven, which is good. His potential's really, really good and all that. But I don't think we've had a good defensive right back, since we had the likes of Gary Neville. I know we've had Raphael, but he wasn't that good, to be quite honest with you. And Wan-Bissaka, did spend the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, he had been a Crystal Palace player since the age of 11. Obviously, graduated from their youth system and all that. And initially, when he was younger, he was an out-and-out winner. But as he was developing and all that, he got reverted as a fullback, due to his tenacity. He only made his debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year, his senior debut. And obviously, last season established himself as a first-team regular, reflecting on his impressive performances and all that. And I think he also got named Crystal Palace's Player of the Year. But I do believe Wan-Bissaka, can elevate Manchester United forward. His defensive capabilities and that are very, very good and all that. But, we have seen fullbacks, go for the 50 million. We saw it a couple of years ago, with Kyle Walker. He went to Manchester City, for around £50 million and all that. But I do believe Wan-Bissaka will be a fantastic replacement for Antonio Valencia. He'll also be a fantastic upgrade to Ash Young, and he will be a good cover-up for Diego Dalot. So like I said, his shirt number's been revealed. He will be wearing that number 29, but I don't think Manchester United have fully announced it as yet, so it's not being fully made official. But like I said, I think he completed his medical on Thursday and all that. So yeah, very, very happy about this, but I'm glad it's over the line, like I said. Because like I said, we had been negotiating with Crystal Palace at least for the last 3 weeks, but Crystal Palace blatantly made it clear, they wanted around 45 million up front or 50 million pounds up front. But now I maybe think, the club, should orchestrate on, selling some players, to help generate funds and rebuild the squad, because obviously a lot of reports came out last week actually, saying that we've only been given 100 million pounds to spend this summer, and obviously we do know 100 million pounds is nowhere near enough to address the deficiencies in the squad, and it did provide a reason why it said we'd allegedly been given 100 million pounds, because obviously we're not in a Champions League football for next season. I thought initially we'd been given around 200 odd million pounds, but like I said, 100 million pounds is nowhere near enough to get the number of players we want. Like I said, it's nowhere near enough to address the deficiencies in the squad. But like I said, Solskjaer is focused on being in the right place to Manchester United, who can get Manchester United back to being a competitive elite level football club. But I think the club also need to work on currently selling players to help us raise funds and rebuild the squad and all that. And we do know Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku are relentlessly linked with moves away from Old Trafford. But I do believe if we can sell Pogba, if we can sell Lukaku, it will help the club generate funds. And I think we could probably raise around 200 million pounds for Lukaku and Pogba's departure. That's going to help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. But like I said, I'm very, very happy about Wan-Bissaka. Like I said, we do need to address that right hand side. I'm still sceptical of Manchester United bringing a right winner in, because we do need a right winner, someone that can link up with the likes of Martial and Rashford and all that. So still basically lots to address in the squad. So Wan-Bissaka is our second signing. We've already got Daniel James on the board, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will want to build on that. But I do now, according to the Metro, it does say it does expect us. I think our next two signings actually will be Bruno Fernandes and Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. I think actually Sean Longstaff could be actually our third signing this summer and all that. Obviously it got announced was it earlier on this week that Rafa Benitez will be resigning as Newcastle's manager when his contract expires. I think it actually expires tomorrow. I think it remains uncertain at the moment who Newcastle will be getting in as a replacement for him. But potentially we've been Sean Longstaff of course is on our agenda. Obviously he made his first I think it was his first season in the senior squad with Newcastle last season. I think he played about 9 games under Rafa Benitez. He did make his debut in December of last year, did Sean Longstaff. He's only 21 years of age. I think he's primarily a central midfielder. He did come out a week or so ago saying that we were confident we could get him for around 25 million pounds. I think Newcastle value Sean Longstaff at around 30 million pounds. He didn't play the remainder. He didn't play the last couple of months of last season. Due to that he did sustain a knee ligament injury back in March and all that. And I still believe he's recovering to full fitness from this knee ligament injury he had sustained back in March. He actually began his career with Newcastle. I think he's also had loan spells with Kilmarnock. He's also had loan spells with Blackpool and all that. So yeah, definitely Manchester United are in for him, because we do need reinforcements in that midfield, because we need to replace Fernando Herrera. Obviously Fellaini left the club back in January. Obviously if Paul Pogba leaves, obviously we are going to need replacement for him. So I do believe we need new additions in that midfield. But do you believe Sean Longstaff will be the right solution? He's got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, but I don't know too much about him to be quite honest with you. With Bruno Fernandes now, obviously I think Manchester United are expected to complete a deal for Bruno Fernandes. Now, as recent reports have confirmed, now the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham and Manchester City have all now withdrawn their interest. Well, initially City had withdrawn their interest quite a few weeks ago, because at one point it was looking likely Manchester City were going to get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes, but obviously City have withdrawn their interest. And then when City pulled out, Liverpool entered the race, also Tottenham entered the race, but now it's officially confirmed that Liverpool and Tottenham have withdrawn their interest. There's only Manchester United left in the running and all that. Potentially it's confirmed earlier on this week, saying that Manchester United have held more extensive talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent over getting a deal secured and all that. Potentially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer earlier on this week instructed Ed Woodward to speed up a deal to currently sign Bruno Fernandes and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants the sign of Bruno Fernandes completed at the earliest opportunity. I think he did say, was it earlier on this week, he demands Bruno Fernandes' arrival by July the 1st. But reportedly Sporting Lisbon want around 60 or 70 million pounds for him. He did initially say Manchester United are not willing to pay that. He did say we rate him at around 49 million pounds. But I do believe that Bruno Fernandes is keen on making the move to Manchester United, because he did say he favours a move to Manchester United over Tottenham and all that, because he do believes it will be beneficial for his career. It's also confirmed earlier on this week that Liverpool have held more talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent over an improved offer and all that, because obviously it reported out last week saying that Liverpool had lodged a bidding for Bruno Fernandes of around €45 million. Obviously, that equates to around £40 million sterling. But obviously, this figure's going to be nowhere near enough, to convince Sporting Lisbon to offload him. But I think, Manchester United, we've been considered the favourites, at least in the last couple of weeks, to get the players' signature. This is obviously, coming from Bola, the Portuguese press and all that. But I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. He would be a fantastic, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. He is only 24 years of age. He is primarily an attacking midfielder and all that. And I do believe if he comes in, he will rejuvenate the team. He will bring us them goals that we do need in that midfield. He will have depth in our midfield and all that. But he's had 2 good seasons with Sporting Lisbon. I think he scored 31 goals in all competitions last season in 50 games. Also got about 13 assists and also he can score goals, he can provide and all that. And I said he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons and he has exceeded expectation levels. Hasn't really played to the highest level as yet, but I do believe he's got all the attributes, to definitely succeed in the Premier League. Obviously did spend the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, the likes of Sampdoria, Londonese and all that. But like I said, he's still under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. But I think it's very imperative, that Manchester United, do get a deal over the line for him, because essentially he's been on our agenda for quite some time. He has been one of our main priority targets as Bruno Fernandes. But he did say before, he's attracted to the history and mystique of Manchester United. But like I said, it's going to be difficult for us, to attract players to the elite level, because obviously, we're not in Champions League football for next season. Champions League football is always pivotal, when you do want to get your number 1 targets. But like I said, Solskjaer's still in the process of rebuilding. But we need to see vast improvements going on into this season, because last season was very disappointing. We finished 6th. Of course, we didn't win any silverware, so we need to see vast improvements going on into this season. Solskjaer did basically say last month, he wants the majority of our transfer business completed by July the 1st, as he was basically saying and all that. But like I said, we need to see vast improvements going on into this season. But I do believe our expectations going on into this season probably, will be to finish in the top 4, maybe in the Carabao Cup, maybe in the Europa League. But I don't think our expectations, will be able to, win the Premier League or challenge for the league, because I think we're at least a couple of years off doing that. Because obviously at the moment, City strides ahead of us. Obviously, Liverpool and that are strides ahead of us and all that. And it's very imperative, that we do catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But our aspirations will be top 4, I think, at least for the next couple of seasons. But we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, and the main factor reason why we've been a toxic club, because obviously we've been mismanaged and all that. This is why obviously we've been underachieving, and obviously we've had different managers with different philosophies. A hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. Obviously players have come in, and of course players have left and all that. But yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding, and I hope it works out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I do like him a lot. He was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager, not to the highest level, and that's something, that does currently concern me. He won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould, so he has won some silverware and all that. He didn't really have a long tenure with Cardiff, so he hasn't really got the experience of a manager, but he was a great player for 11 years, and I hope it works out under him, because, we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers. We've already had 3 managers since Alex Ferguson retired, but like I said, no one is ever going to follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. We're never going to achieve with what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, and that's something we've got to accept. But we just want to be back, to being a competitive elite level football club. But like I said, I hope Solskjaer's got the the abilities, and he's got the statures to get us in that commanding position, of course, where we do want to be. Even though we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England, historically. So players, still may want to play at Manchester United, like I currently said. But Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. I probably expect around 3 or 4 players, maybe 5 players to leave Manchester United this summer. Like I said, it's looking very imminent now. Darmian and Rojo. Darmian and Rojo are going to be leaving the club, so I think we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for their departures. We know Valencia is leaving. We know Ander Herrera, of course, is leaving on a free transfer. We know De Gea and Juan Mata now, of course, are staying with the club. Obviously with Sanchez, I'm sceptical of I'm a bit sceptical now of Sanchez leaving, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, because Sanchez, could continue playing his trade with Manchester United, next season and all that, because the club I find it really difficult, to offload him. Obviously, reflecting on his substantial wages, because obviously Sanchez on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and all that. And Manchester United, we're doing everything we can, to currently offload him. I think the only way we can offload Alexis Sanchez is if, we get him out on a long season loan. And then Manchester United, come to some kind of agreement, of paying him half of his wages off him and all that. So I think that's the only way, we can completely get rid of Alexis Sanchez, but his wages are having a really bad effect on the football club. Obviously, we want to get rid of him, to help us with our wage bill. Obviously, Sanchez has no future at the club anyway. He's 30. He has lost that yard of pace. Obviously, he's been at Manchester United since January 2018, and he hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, because obviously he did really, really well at Arsenal. He even played under Guardiola's guidance, when he was younger at Barcelona, and he flourished under Guardiola's guidance at Barcelona, but he just hasn't replicated this at Manchester United. And he has become injury prone since he's come to Manchester United, because obviously he had sustained quite a few injuries last season with Alexis Sanchez. So I think it's very, very imperative that we do currently offload him and all that. But like I was saying, about Bruno Fernandes, I'm very, very confident now, that Manchester United can get a deal over the line soon. So probably will be our third or fourth signing this summer. So potentially, there's been a lot of rumours, hasn't there, going on about Romelu Lukaku. Now we do know he's been relentlessly, linked to move to Inter Milan. Now potentially, it came out earlier on this week saying that Lukaku's agent, had been in Milan. He'd been in negotiations with Inter Milan, because obviously Lukaku's agent is doing everything, he currently can, to try and get Lukaku's move to Inter Milan, currently completed. Obviously Sky in Italy, reported the other day, was it yesterday or the day before? They said Inter Milan. Inter Milan, want to loan Lukaku out for the next 2 seasons. So it did say Inter Milan will pay a £9 million loan fee to loan Lukaku out for the next 2 seasons, with then the obligation to buy for the further £54 million. Obviously that amounts up to around 63 million in total. But obviously, more than likely Manchester United will reject this, because I think we're only keen on offloading Romelu Lukaku on a permanent deal. But Inter Milan are struggling, to generate enough funds, to meet that £75 million valuation, because obviously, we've said we want £75 million for Romelu Lukaku. So obviously Lukaku is our second most expensive player. Obviously, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because obviously, we paid £75 million. There was add-ons included in the deal, which did potentially rise it to 90 million, and he has got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on around £250,000 a week and all that. But I think Lukaku has blatantly made it clear, he does obviously want to leave Manchester United and all that. Like I said, Inter Milan are struggling to generate enough funds, to meet that £75 million valuation. But I do believe, everything's been agreed, between Lukaku and Inter Milan, except the fee, and obviously, the fee is problematic for Inter Milan. I think Lukaku has agreed the personal terms with Inter Milan. I think he's also reportedly agreed a deal worth around £180,000 a week with them and all that. So everything's been agreed except the fee. And obviously, Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target, of course. He's identified him as his number one target. And obviously, Lukaku did recently describe that Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. And obviously, Lukaku is eager, to play under Antonio Conte's guidance. Because probably Lukaku believes he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. But potentially, Antonio Conte, did say, was it a couple of years ago? He did want Romelu Lukaku a couple of years ago. This is obviously reflected back, when he was manager of Chelsea. But obviously, Lukaku ended up making the move to Manchester United. Lukaku has served 2 years in the club. He was exceptional in his first season, but didn't really replicate that in his second season and all that, because potentially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, Romelu Lukaku has found himself surplus to requirements and all that, and obviously Rashford has been first choice ahead of him, and obviously Lukaku is reluctant to play a backup role to Rashford. Lukaku has scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions, since he's come to Manchester United and all that. But you do know I've got strong reservations about him, but his pedigree is still very, very good in the Premier League. His ratio is still very, very good and all that. But I think it will be very beneficial if Manchester United, of course, can offload him. But we've said we want £75 million. But potentially, Inter Milan. I've obviously offered us Mario Icardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku, and you do know that I like Mario Icardi a lot, like I do keep saying. I think he's a really, really good player. He's got goals in him and all that. And his goal scoring pedigree is really, really good. Like I said, he has been at Inter Milan 6 years. Mario Icardi has spent the majority of his career in Italy. Like I said, his stats are very, very impressive. I think he scored like 100. He scored like 111 goals in 188 games for Inter Milan, so that's very, very impressive. He's also Inter Milan's ninth highest top goal scorer of all time and all that. So yeah, very, very good player indeed, Mario Icardi. He endured a difficult time last season with Inter Milan because obviously Inter Milan have increasingly become frustrated with him. Obviously Inter Milan want to offload him, and obviously Mario Icardi did lose the captaincy, back in February and all that. But I would like to see Mario Icardi coming as part of the deal with Lukaku, because I do believe he'd been his them goals and that we do need, because that was a problem as well last season. Wasn't scoring enough goals, wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal and all that. So yeah, that was a problem, last season. So I would like Mario Icardi in. 26 years of age, so he's potentially, we're the same age as Romelu Lukaku and all that. But yeah, Inter Milan, of course, I do want to offload him. So they've tried offering his Icardi as part of the deal for Lukaku. Obviously came out a week or so ago now, or was it a couple of weeks ago, saying that they have offered us Ivan Perisic plus cash as part of the deal for Lukaku. But again, Manchester United have turned this down, because obviously we know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target and all that. It was a long-term target in the Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. But like I said, there is quite a few players on our agenda, who could replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club. So as you all know, there has been a lot of talks going on about Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. Now, reports came out, was it yesterday, basically saying that he said allegedly that Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang has agreed a transfer to Manchester United. And this story is actually been stemming from Andy Goldstein, who's a presenter of TalkSport, and it came out last week. And this was actually Andy Goldstein, he did say Manchester United are interested in Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. Like I said, I don't believe there's a lot of credibility in it. I think the media are just speculating on the the majority of this story, and I don't think I don't believe there's a lot of credibility in it. So I think the media basically on this are just basically just justifying their existence. I don't think Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang will come to Manchester United. I think definitely Arsenal are open to selling Aubameyang, because Arsenal have obviously got a tight budget this summer. They've only got around 40 or 45 million pounds to spend on players. So obviously Arsenal will need to offload quite a few of their essential players to help them generate funds and help them of course rebuild the squad and all that. But reportedly Arsenal said they want at least around 56 million pounds for Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. So basically they're looking to recoup the money that they did pay for him from Borussia Dortmund back in January 2018, because Arsenal did pay 56 million pounds for him. I think they did pay a club record fee for Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. But I've always liked Aubameyang, especially during his Borussia Dortmund days and all that. Very, very good player indeed. Very good in the air. His movement's very, very good. His finishing's also very, very good. And I would love him to come to Manchester United. He is now 30 years of age. He has got 2 years left on his deal with Arsenal. We do also know that Aubameyang has been linked with move to China. I think it did say that he had been offered £300,000 a week to go and play in the Chinese Super League and all that. But it does say now probably Manchester United are interested, and obviously would see him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But Aubameyang, since he arrived at Arsenal, he's made 49 appearances in the Premier League. He has scored 32 goals, and obviously last season scored 22 Premier League goals in 36 Premier League appearances. Obviously he won the Golden Boot, and he was a joint Premier League top goal scorer alongside Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah and all that. Aubameyang's goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic. He's also got that pedigree. He's got that proven pedigree as playing as a central striker, because he's predominantly a central striker, but he can also play as a wide forward, so you can put him on the left. You can also put Aubameyang on the right and all that. But reportedly he did say he has said yes to a move to Manchester United and all that. But like I said, it would if we did get Aubameyang on the board, I do think it would be. He would make a similar impact, to how Robin van Persie, did, when he signed to Manchester United from Arsenal, back in 2012 and all that. And you can quite frankly say Robin van Persie, won his league in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season and all that, reflecting on the amount of goals, that Robin van Persie had currently scored. But like I said, Manchester United and Arsenal have done business in the past. We got Sanchez for them back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal with Mkhitaryan. We also Arsenal got Danny Welbeck from us back in, was it 2014 or 15, about 4 or 5 years ago now. And it's like I said, we got Robin van Persie from them back in 2012. But like I said, I would like Aubameyang to come in. I think Arsenal are keen on getting a deal over the line for Wilfried Zaha. But Crystal Palace said, they want around 80 million pounds. And obviously, Arsenal not going to be able to afford that. But obviously, if they can, offload quite a few of their essential players and all that and generate funds, they probably will be able to afford, to get Wilfried Zaha on the board. I think actually Wilfried Zaha is keen on making a move to Arsenal. I think obviously obviously, Crystal Palace, obviously, are going to be reluctant, now to sell Wilfred Zaha, because obviously, Wan-Bissaka has joined Manchester United and all that, and obviously Crystal Palace don't want to lose, two of their essential players. They've already lost one of their essential players, but obviously, they would want to lose Wilfred Zaha. There was a lot of rumours going on about Wilfred Zaha, the other week, saying, Manchester United, were back in for him. There was rumours saying that, he could possibly, make a return back to Manchester United, because obviously, we had Wilfred Zaha when he was younger. Obviously, it was actually, Alex Ferguson's last signing, before he announced his retirement at the end of that season. I think Ferguson, I think we paid around £10 million for him, but didn't really get the opportunity, when he was at Manchester United. I think he only made about 4 first team appearances and all that, did Wilfred Zaha. But he did come out, he made an admission, was it about a month or so ago now, maybe even longer, saying that he does want to leave Crystal Palace, because obviously, he wants to be in Champions League football and all that. Obviously, Arsenal in Champions League football, also, Manchester United, of course, are not in Champions League football, but I think Wilfred Zaha wants to rejuvenate his career. He wants to take his footballing career to the next level. He is under contract with Crystal Palace till 2023, and he has thrived under Roy Hodgson's guidance, and he's done really, really well, since he signed permanently for Crystal Palace back in 2015 and all that. He's 26 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. He can play as a winner. He can also play as a forward, can Wilfred Zaha. But he spent the majority of his career anywhere with Crystal Palace, because he began his career with Crystal Palace, and then obviously after that, he came to Manchester United for a couple of years. Then obviously got loaned out to Crystal Palace, went back to Palace, and then obviously I think he also then had a loan spell with Cardiff. So he has played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then he did sign permanently, for Crystal Palace back in 2015. But he is well Premier League proven. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League and all that. But potentially did say before that Arsenal were only willing to pay up to £40 million for his services. So Crystal Palace have said, they're demanding an extortionate amount, and the main factor reason why they are demanding an extortionate amount, because obviously, they don't want to sell Wilfred Zaha, but I think Wilfred Zaha is actually keen on making the move to Arsenal. So potentially Arsenal will be open to offloading Aubameyang. They're planning, to generate the funds from Aubameyang's departure, and then probably, put that money on, Wilfred Zaha and all that. But I don't see, Crystal Palace, currently selling. But potentially, it did say last week, Manchester United, were prepared to pay up to £70 million for Patrick Emerick Aubameyang's services and all that. But we will see, what currently happens. Like I said, there's been a lot of reports going on out this week in regards to Ben Yedder from Sevilla. Now, it does say potentially, Manchester United are interested in him. I do think we're only going to go in for Ben Yedder, of course, from Lukaku, does leave the club this summer. Ben Yedder plays for Sevilla, like I said. He's served 3 years at Sevilla. I think his goal scoring pedigree is very, very good. He's 28 years of age. I think he's about 5'7". He's Ben Yedder. I think last season he scored 30 goals and provided 11 assists in 54 matches for Sevilla last season. He's still got 2 years left on his deal with them. I think his initial release clause is around £35 million in it, so he is available for a reasonable figure. So potentially, a lot of people have suggested that we should be sensible of our recruitment this summer. So he's available for around £30 million. Reportedly, Manchester United, we did say we are willing to trigger his release clause and all that. Obviously, he's France. I think he made his full international debut last year, and obviously his former club is Toulouse. So Sevilla did pay around £9 million for his services back in 2016 from Toulouse. So it does say we've identified him as a possible replacement for Romelu Lukaku. So who would you get in, to replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club? We do know they have, obviously, there has been a lot of talks about Paulo Dybala and all that. But yeah, quite a few players on our agenda, who could, currently replace Romelu Lukaku. But potentially, as I've been updating you, about Paul Pogba and all that. Now, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is actually keen, to keep Paul Pogba at the football club, because potentially it's initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plan, to actually, build a side around Paul Pogba. But I do believe, that Paul Pogba, still wants to leave Manchester United. Obviously, he made this admission a couple of weeks ago. He had told reporters in Tokyo and all that. He's seeking for a new challenge. He's publicly admitted, he wants to leave Manchester United. And he even did say, that Paul Pogba is even willing to go on strike, to force a move away from Manchester United and all that. We do know it is Real Madrid and Juventus, of course, that are battling out for his services. We do know Paul Pogba's first choice preference, we do know Paul Pogba's first choice preference for quite some time now has been Real Madrid, and we do know his likely destination of course has been Real Madrid. But potentially, we don't want to sell Paul Pogba and all that, because this is what the main factor reason why we have put an extortionate price tag on him, because we've said we want around £150 million, so we would be willing to accept a bid in the region of around £150 million. Potentially, Real Madrid are reluctant to pay up to £150 million, but we do know Juventus have stepped up their interest at least in the last couple of weeks. Juventus have been in negotiation with Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola. It also got confirmed the other week that the Juventus director had travelled to London to hold more negotiation with Manchester United over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. But recent reports did confirm that that Paul Pogba is actually not keen on making a return back to Turin and all that, because he did have 4 good years in Turin. Paul Pogba, he hasn't really replicated this form since he did make the return to Manchester United, because we paid £89 million for him. Obviously our most expensive signing. But the Juventus director explained recently how much Juventus do love Paul Pogba and all that, because like I said he was a good servant for Juventus, but like I said, he hasn't really replicated this for Man United. But more than likely Juventus to fund the move for Paul probably would have to offload at least 1 or 2 of their essential players and all that to fund the current move, because I don't think Juventus would be able to afford him, right? But like I said, Juventus are doing good business in this summer transfer window. They're doing really good business. They have got a budget. They've obviously got Adrian Rabiot. They've obviously got Matty De Ligt on the board. They've already got Aaron Ramsey in that on the board, so they are doing a good business system. And quite a lot of players have been on Juventus' agenda and all that. But I do believe Paul Pogba wants to leave Manchester United. Real Madrid obviously are doing good business so far this summer. They've spent I think over 300 million. I thought it was just below 300 million, but I think they've actually now spent over 300 million pounds of Real Madrid this summer. Obviously they've got Eden Hazard for around 150 million pounds. But I still believe Paul Pogba is one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets and all that. Obviously it came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Real Madrid were willing to offer us Gareth Bale in exchange for Paul Pogba. Obviously in our reading reports was it yesterday saying that Real Madrid will offer us Isco as part of the deal for Paul Pogba and all that. Like I said, with Isco, I think he's a really good player. Isco, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he'd fit Manchester United's system, to be quite honest with you. Disregarding Isco's being part of a swap deal with Paul Pogba, he'd probably cost you around £100 million. Well, it'd cost you over £100 million. Obviously Isco's been subject to quite a lot of transfer speculation, because obviously Isco enjoyed a difficult season with Real Madrid last season, especially under Santiago Solari and all that. And most of his appearance last season came on the bench, so I think Isco has increasingly become frustrated there with that. Obviously Isco so far has spent the entirety of his career in Spain. He's been at Real Madrid 6 years and all that. I think he's played about 277 games for them. Obviously won quite a lot of silverware Real Madrid, I think, including 4 Champions Leagues. He has been at Real Madrid since 2013. Obviously before he was at Real Madrid, I think he was at Malaga, and I think he began his career with Valencia. I think Real Madrid paid around, was it £27 million for his services from Malaga back in 2013 and all that. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be keen on Isco coming out to Manchester United, so I wouldn't be keen on him as being part of the deal with Paul Pogba and all that. But they try to offers players around Madrid to try and convince us to currently lower our price tag of what we currently are demanding for Paul Pogba. But like I said, Paul Pogba did say a while back he's at some point in his career he does want to play for Real Madrid, and obviously he's probably keen on playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. But recent reports have said he does prefer a move back to Turin. But I think maybe the couple of main factor reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave the club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players and he isn't getting this at Manchester United. Maybe he wants to be in Champions League football, wants to be winning silverware, wants to be competing, and of course he's not experiencing this at Manchester United and all that. Paul Pogba of course has still got 2 years left on his deal with Manchester United, on his current deal with an option of a further year. Reports were coming out last week saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract, worth up to around £500,000 a week and all that, to try and convince him to remain at the football club. Obviously Paul Pogba in his current deal at the moment is on £290,000 a week. Obviously he's one of the highest paid players, but if he was to accept this £500,000 a week offer, which he probably will, that he'd get a huge pay rise around £210 million. Came out about 4 or 5 weeks ago saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. Obviously Paul Pogba's agent, at least I'd say in the last 5 or 6 weeks, maybe even longer than that, should I say, has been working on trying to get Paul Pogba trying to get Paul to try and find Paul Pogba a new club and all that. But Paul Pogba did well last season. He scored 16 goals, he provided 11 assists in 47 11 games in all competitions and all that. And, we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. That's when we mainly saw the best of Pogba, because he was in scintillating form, and we mainly saw the best of Pogba when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasises, how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, currently made. But Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, there was talks about him going to Juventus last year. There was also talks about him going to Barcelona, back in the January transfer window. But yeah, like I said, he was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year, but, Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes, when Jose Mourinho, got sacked from the club. He got one of his best wishes, like I currently said, because obviously, they had a poor relationship, did Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba's 26, he's still in his prime, he has still got a hell of a lot of development minimum and all that, but I do believe, he wants to rejuvenate his career. But I know how much of an imperative player, Paul Pogba is, and, I think if we do sell him, it will help us with our rebuilding process, and of course, it will help us with our transition and all that. So, like I said, Bruno Fernandes would be the fantastic adequate replacement for him. Obviously, there's been quite a few midfielders on our agenda who could obviously replace Paul Pogba. Obviously, I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans would like to see James Maddison come in now. I like James Maddison a lot, and I think reports were reflecting out last week saying that reportedly James Maddison is allegedly interested in the move to Manchester United, and reportedly it also said that James Maddison allegedly said he wants to meet up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, James Maddison, as obviously been on our agenda, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. He's only 22 years of age, so he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. Obviously, James Maddison has had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League last season. Was his first season in the Premier League with Leicester. He was involved in 14 goals last season in 36 Premier League appearances. He also created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. So his stats are absolutely incredible indeed. But it came out about this story about 3 or 4 weeks ago saying that we emerged James Maddison as a priority target. It did say if Leicester were willing to sell him, they would want around £60 million for him and all that. So now he is proven in the Premier League. Leicester did pay £20 million for him last summer from Norwich and all that. So he has got 4 years remaining on his deal with Leicester, because he initially signed a 5-year deal last summer, and he did have a good couple of seasons in the Championship with Norwich. Obviously, quite a few teams have been tracking him since he was a teenager at Coventry. Obviously, he began his career with Coventry and all that. Grew up and that in Coventry. I think he also had a loan spell in Scotland, with Aberdeen. So yeah, very, very good player indeed. But he did say 3 or 4 weeks ago, Manchester United, had made initial contact. But he's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, and I do believe if James Maddison came in, he would rejuvenate the team. And even if James Maddison does remain loyal to Leicester for another season, obviously he's not going to intend on spending, the rest of his playing career with Leicester and all that, because obviously at some point, he'll want to rejuvenate his career and take his footballing career to the next level. So I do believe, he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Maybe quite a lot of Manchester United fans, would like to see, Youri Tielemans coming as well. Obviously now he has returned to Monaco, but I think Youri Tielemans has confirmed he will not be applying his trade with Monaco next season, so he will not be staying with Monaco. Came out a couple of weeks ago saying that we had rekindled our interest in Youri Tielemans, and it did, basically say, we'd been in negotiation with his agent over getting a possible deal concluded and all that. I think Monaco, do rate him at around £40 million. He's under contract with Monaco until 2022 and all that. But he confirmed the other week now we've withdrawn our interest in Youri Tielemans, because obviously we're focused on getting other targets in and all that. I think Leicester have been in talks with Monaco over getting him on a permanent deal and all that, because obviously he's very impressive throughout his loan spell with Leicester. Obviously he's had about 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because he had been on loan with Leicester since January. But yeah, very, very good player is Youri Tielemans. I think he's mainly a box-to-box midfielder. Also can play as an attacking midfielder, and still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him and all that. I think also Tottenham previously been linked to him before. I think also Manchester City have been in for Youri Tielemans. So again, he could be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. He could be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. But we do believe Manchester United, do need a central defender. That's very, very imperative indeed. And I think probably if you ask the vast majority of Manchester United fans, they'd probably say, we probably need 2 central defenders, because we know Smalling's not good enough. We know Phil Jones and that is not good enough. Obviously, Smalling's been here 9 years. Jones has been here 8 years, and obviously, they have been 2 long-serving players at the club. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Jones new long-term contracts and all that. And they are very inconsistent now, and they're no longer good enough to represent Manchester United and all that. We have also got Eric Bailly, but I think Manchester United would be open to selling. May not happen this summer, and I do like Eric Bailly a lot, and I still think he's a very imperative player for Manchester United because his potential's really good and all that, and he is really good when he is fully fit. But I think Eric Bailly's career has been mainly Manchester United career has been affected, with his fallout under managers, with his injuries he has sustained and all that. His Manchester United career has been badly affected. I think Arsenal, previously been linked to him, but we've got to address our defensive deficiencies. We've got to get a central defender in because we haven't had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic, and of course since we had the likes of Fernandes. But we've got to get a central defender in because last season we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season in 38 Premier League games. That's our highest total, of course, in 40 years. So our priority is obviously, is to get a central defender that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. Someone who can complement Victor Lindelof in our backline, because I was very impressed there with Victor Lindelof last season. He really stepped up to the plate. His distribution was good. His passing was good. He was showing that ability he can play out from the back. Didn't really settle in his first season, Victor Lindelof. I've got to be honest, wasn't really good in his first season, but in his second season, there was a vast improvement in his game and all that. But like I said, there's been quite a lot of central defenders on our agenda. I do believe now one of our priority targets, of course, is West Ham's Issa Diop. Now, there has been a lot of talks going on about Issa Diop in the last couple of weeks, saying that, we're interested in him and all that. And he did say, he was keen on making the move to Manchester United, Issa Diop. I think West Ham, basically looking at ultimately don't want to sell him. This is why they are demanding an extortionate amount. This is why, they've priced him out of the transfer market, because West Ham have blatantly made it clear, they've said they want at least around £60 million. Some media outlets were speculating, saying that they want around £75 million for Issa Diop. In my own opinion, I don't think Issa Diop is worth £68 million and all that. But Manchester United... But of course, Manchester United are interested, in Issa Diop and all that. But he's proven in the Premier League. Obviously, last season was his first season in the Premier League, with West Ham. I think he played about, 33 games last season for West Ham or something like that. Made 38 appearances in all competitions. Obviously, West Ham got in last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million and all that. He's 22. He's, I presume he's very good in the air because he's 6'4", and I think he's also, a very good athlete. And reportedly, he does hold his line, really well. But West Ham know how much of an essential player he is, and probably West Ham are reluctant, to currently offload him. But I do believe Issa Diop, would be a cheaper solution than Harry Maguire, or Koulibaly from Napoli, and all that. It would be a much cheaper solution and all that. But like I said, West Ham did say, they want at least around £60 million for him. Got reported out the other week saying that we had around a £45 million bid turned down for him, because it did say we'd offer £45 million. We also offered Phil Jones as part of a deal for Issa Diop, but of course West Ham had turned this down. And it also said West Ham reportedly, were demanding Anthony Martial in exchange for Issa Diop, but obviously we do know how much of an imperative player Martial is, so obviously, we're not going to be willing to go along with that. But yeah, Issa Diop has been on our agenda. I would say Harry Maguire has been one of our main priority targets, basically, since last summer, because Harry Maguire has been relentlessly, linked to move to Manchester United, since last summer, because obviously last summer our priority, actually, was to recommend a central defender to come in, but obviously, reflecting back last summer, the board weren't backing, the signings there that Jose Mourinho, wanted to recommend to come in and all that. But last summer, I think Leicester said, they wanted around £70 million, and obviously, Manchester United were reluctant, to currently pay that. But like I said, the rumours have continued to, stem since last summer, linking Harry Maguire with a move to Old Trafford and all that. But it has been Manchester United and Manchester City, that have been battling out for his services. It's Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services and all that. Recent reports have said now that, we have withdrawn our interest in Harry Maguire, based on the, based on the extortionate amount that Leicester are demanding, because now recent reports have said they want around £100 million. So it did basically say they want 90 million up front, with 10 million of course add-ons and all that. But potentially, obviously, Manchester United are going to be reluctant to pay that. It did initially say Leicester want around £80 million for Harry Maguire, but Harry Maguire has confirmed he wants to make the move to Manchester City. He did basically say Manchester City are set to sign him for a world record fee of £80 million. Obviously, this is making the most expensive defender in world football, ahead of Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, and all that. But he said, yeah, and he did say City, were willing to pay him around £280,000 a week. But I don't think, City are prepared, to pay up to £80 million. I mean, he did say City initially, rate Harry Maguire around £50 million. But don't get me wrong, he is a good central defender. He is proven in that in the Premier League, is Harry Maguire. But potentially, he's definitely not worth £80 million and all that. But we've been put off by the recent price tag Leicester are demanding, because they've said they want £100 million. But looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell him. This is why they demand an extortionate amount, and this is why, of course, they have priced him out of the transfer market. But Harry Maguire, wants to play under Pep Guardiola's guidance, because probably he believes he'll flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance and all that. But like I said, I think negotiations hit a stumbling block, between Manchester City and Leicester, because obviously, City, not willing to pay, what Leicester are demanding, and all that. But it's obviously, City's number one target. Obviously, Manchester City are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. Obviously, if he goes to Manchester City, Harry Maguire, he will be playing alongside, John Stones and Laporte, and all that. I know City have got Otamendi, but if City were to get the deal finalised, Harry Maguire, they probably, would consider, offloading Otamendi and all that. But Harry Maguire, obviously, has been at Leicester, a couple of seasons. Obviously, he's made 76 appearances in all competitions. 69 of them have come in the Premier League. Obviously, last summer signed a new long-term contract with Leicester, so he is under contract with them until 2023. Obviously, Leicester paid around £17 million for his services from Hull City, back in 2017 and all that. Yeah, but very, very good central defender. And I do believe if he came to Manchester United, he would address our defensive deficiencies and all that, because his defensive abilities are good. He shows that ability to play out from the back. He's also tall as well, which is beneficial. But like I said, will not, clearly happen. Because, Manchester United won't pay up to £100 million for him. But like I said, that's mainly everything to update today. I think we're okay on that left-hand side, because the majority of our attack, seems to be coming from that left-hand side and all that, like I said. So that's mainly everything to update today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.